Hey there, good morning. It's 7:30. Welcome to Breakfast with Bridgett on this Tuesday, February 27th, 2024, Taco Tuesday. And we are getting ready for a nice day out there, starting off a little more mild than yesterday. But, you still might need a little something on your arms or just, jump in the car real fast. But meteorologist Candace Campos is standing by, and I see you're still playing with that Rubik's Cube, but I don't really have time for that because you're not going to finish it. Oh, I can't hear you.
You can
See,
hear me now, can you?
see, distractions, Candace.
I told you this is
I
not
know.
good.
So you're going to fidget with that the rest of the
Well,
day?
unfortunately, I think so. I think so. All right, let's take it to the maps. I'm going to put the Rubik's Cube away. We had a story about a fifth grader, you
Yes.
said, right, Bridget? It was a fifth
Yes.
grader who could figure out the Rubik's Cube in
And he
43
said
or
it wasn't
45
about being
seconds.
smart. He said it was about the algorithm, figuring out the algorithm. So let's figure out the
I
algorithm
don't.
when we go on break.
Sure. Okay. Another to-do list. Thank you, Bridget. We'll try. We'll work on that.
Oh.
You know what? Today, yes, it's a nice mild start. Steve just went on TV and said, "Do me a favor, grab your coffee, just walk outside for a little bit." It's just a nice start to the day. It's still cool, but not as chilly as it has been for the last couple of mornings. So right now we're starting off in the 40s and 50s. Now throughout the day, we're going to be back up to near about 80 degrees between about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Still tons of sunshine, a light breeze in place. And then later on tonight, it's not going to be as cool as it was this morning, where we were in the 40s and 50s. Tomorrow will be more like the 50s and 60s. So, of course, we're slowly starting to trend warmer. Yesterday, we're up to about 77. Today, we're near 80. And then tomorrow, as that front continues to build in, we're going to warm up even further. So here's the temperature trend, stopping the clock by about 4 o'clock today, again, near 80 degrees in Orlando. Then here comes that front there in the corner of your screen. You see the blue coming in behind it. Before that cold front gets here on Wednesday, it will be an even warmer day. We'll be into the mid 80s in some spots on Wednesday. Then that front comes in, it'll start cooling us down, making it feel a little more comfortable. And then temperatures by Thursday afternoon will be back to near normal. Now, usually, Bridget, we talk about a cold front come through and it brings us a little rain once it crosses over, right? Well, that's not the case this time around. This cold front's going to come through pretty dry, actually, just really changing our temperatures, bringing up the breeze a bit. But then it's going to stall just to our south over the Florida Straits. It's going to start developing some more moisture, maybe an area of low pressure. It starts juicing up the atmosphere. And then that front's going to start retreating back northward. And that's where we will start to bring back that chance of rain. Is it going to be a washout? No, but rain chances are on the rise compared to the next couple of days. We're about a 20 to 40% between Saturday and Monday, which I know a lot of people are planning their Daytona Bike Week plans. Rain chances, again, are on the rise. We will see a few showers. Temperatures will be mild in the mid 70s. So temperature-wise, we're still looking great. We just will have to dodge a few rain showers here and there, maybe an isolated thunderstorm for your weekend, but not enough for me to say cancel your weekend plans. It's going to be a washout. That is certainly not going to be the case, as we are just going to be bringing back a little more rain, a little more instability into the forecast. And we'll kind of iron out those details in the timeline, of course, as we get closer in. But also talking about down the road, that's not this weekend, but next weekend, we spring forward. We lose our hour of sleep on Sunday, which really doesn't matter to people like you and me, Bridget, with children who don't know what time it is
Right.
anyway. But the big
But they're
change
starting
is
to
going to be
notice.
are they? They're getting to that age
Yes,
now.
they notice. Like, oh, it's
They're
not dark
aging
yet,
out,
Mommy. We
Bridget.
should go. We should go. We still have some daylight.
Yeah. See, I'm really not looking forward to the time that Alessia really learns how to tell time, because then she'll know I'm lying to her.
It's more of a
I mean, she
sense.
kind of
I
figures
don't
it
think they
out.
can tell time. I think they can just sense, like, oh, it's still light out. Like, or why is it getting dark so
Okay.
early? They do notice those things because it
Okay.
cuts in
All
on the
right. Listen, then you
playtime.
tell
See?
them,
Hmm.
but then you don't want them to wake up early, an extra hour early on March 10th. So what
They
you
wake
do, I
up
have a little
so early
trick, all right?
anyway. Okay, tell
All
me.
right, so parents, here's a little trick. You tell them the night before, do me a favor, wake me up on Sunday morning, and then when we wake up, we'll clean the house. They won't wake you
Oh,
up.
okay. Note to self.
Yeah.
Note to self.
So I
All right.
say, hey guys, when you wake me up on Sunday, we're
We'll
all going
start
to be doing
cleaning.
tons of chores, laundry, scrubbing the floor, organizing your
See,
closet,
and
and
they
then we're
might be
not
the
going to
ones
wake
to
you up.
wake me up and be serious about it. And then I'm
Be
the
like,
one
Mom, you said today
crying.
was going to be a cleaning day. You're like,
I'm like,
no. All right,
oh,
well, it might backfire, but hey, you might squeeze out an extra hour of sleep.
mommy's
Who
going to take
knows?
an extra long potty break with the door locked. That's what that'll be.
With the door locked, yeah, and the sound machine on.
Oh, gosh.
But as we head into March 10th, that's right, sunset will now be pushed back or pushed later. So the sun won't go down at 6:30 anymore. It'll be going down at 7:30. So
Nice.
times are changing here in Central Florida. The moment that clock changes, that heat will be back in Central Florida. That humidity too. So get
Mm-hmm.
ready for it. 7-day forecast looks like this. Not too bad. Yeah, we have a little bit of rain for the weekend. But again, temperatures are really going to be warm, especially tomorrow. Will be warm and breezy, which means the springtime allergies are back and they'll be here to stay at least for the next few weeks.
Very nice. Loving it, Candace. And I do need to get my car
Yeah,
washed while I can. That's
yeah.
on the
I
list
mean,
of to
wash your
dos.
car. You'll have to wash it again tomorrow and the day
Right.
after because the pollen numbers are just so crazy.
Yes. And my kids won't write any words in the pollen on my car.
I
So
mean, that's what you get for getting a dark car.
I know.
Uh,
This is my first black car and I like
yeah.
it, but that is really hard to keep up with. So
Yeah, right now I got that silver grayish,
yeah,
and
that
I think that's
gray,
a sweet spot. It's a
it looks
sweet
clean
spot.
even when it's not.
Yeah, unless you look at the windows and you're like, are her tints yellow? No, they're not.
Mm,
It's just the
mm.
pollen.
All right. Thank you,
All
Candace.
right, bye,
See you in a
Bridget.
little bit.
You're
All
welcome.
right. We want to check in with Trooper Steve and Crystal, a little under the weather today. So you hung out on the desk with me, did some news and some traffic. So, you had both plates spinning today.
Always something going on. It's
Yeah.
go, go, go. Man, we had that inside the studio camera, people would see me going from here to there, back over here, back over there. It's a good time. It's
I
a good
think you
time though.
figured it
I'm
was
just glad we
smooth
could.
today.
Well, yeah, we've done it enough times to where it works out. But I tell you what, you're dogging on your car. When you made that special delivery to my mom the other day, your car was shining.
Really?
Your car,
Um,
oh, it pulled up. I was
mm,
like, oh, Bridget's here. It was looking nice.
yeah, and
Bridget always thinks our car's a mess, but now she's getting a compliment about
well, that coming from you, that is a compliment because I know you're very detail oriented. So that's good. But I never did finish telling you the story about why Ethan had gotten out of the car. But we had already left by
Ah,
the time I found out why he got out of the car.
gotcha, gotcha. Well, maybe
Oh,
that's
let's
a
just say
dinner
we
with
had to make a
Bridget.
pit stop.
Yeah. Well, the Wawas have good facilities, so
Yeah, yeah, it was. I
good stuff.
almost went to Lakeland instead of back to Orlando though, but that's another story.
Hey, getting to Kissimmee, it gets tricky down that way because you make one wrong turn, and next thing you know, you're 2 counties out, and you're
Yeah,
like, where am I?
almost need you to do traffic in the evenings. It's
Let's not
intense.
suggest that because I'm pretty sure that our director watches this. So I prefer being part of the morning team
You
and
can
not
do a
part of the evening team.
a hybrid model.
No, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm
It's
good. So,
intense in the evenings when people are trying to get home. I mean, it is just bumper to
well, I
bumper.
even took a few screenshots when I was headed down. I've been back and forth there a lot lately, and 3.5 miles at 18 minutes makes absolutely no sense.
Mm-mm.
And anybody who lives in the Kissimmee Point Siena area, I absolute feel for these folks because it is miserable
Yeah, it's
any time of
time.
day, and and there's still neighborhoods being built. It's insane. It's insane.
Oh.
So let's talk about insanity on the roadways right now. So we did have an earlier minor crash. Sky 6 just left a few moments ago, right off of Powers here at Indian Hill. You'll probably travel through there and see them off on the side, but nothing to worry about too much. Now, this looks nice, and it is nice. So I'm not going to discount 417 on the 408 and the beautiful skies on the east side, but prepare yourself. This is not. This is going to be westbound I-4 right now at State Road 436 Cimarron in Seminole County. You have your two left lanes currently blocked on I-4 in your westbound travel lane. Seminole County out there, fire rescue, along with a few state troopers out there with some lanes blocked. Now, this does look like they're going to open some lanes in the next few minutes, but fire department does protect those lanes in order to keep everybody else on the crash scene safe. So let me show you the map where we're looking. You're going to be coming in from Seminole. You're going to battle those delays in Lake Mary. You'll be clear for a second. And then right when you get to 434, prepare yourself. About a 2.5 to 3 mile backup at this point, and you're pretty much at a standstill. So my big recommendation is if you can get in those express lane entrance there at 434 westbound, you will be able to wave at these people as you pass by. Your drive time, really high. Without express lanes, Lake Mary Boulevard to downtown Orlando, 32-minute drive. That is double the normal time that we see at this hour. So please be careful. Eastbound over in Champions Gate, you're not too bad. St. Cloud, you're good. This earlier crash, looks like we cleared up some lanes at Hickory and Alligator. But just to give you a reference of how far St. Cloud, it's about 30 miles south of the city of Orlando as the crow flies. So when we talk about the city of St. Cloud, that's our southeastern portions. Brevard, you guys are on the good list this morning. West Melbourne, also good to go. So Bridgett, things pretty clear this morning outside of I-4 as long as they're paying attention. At 8:30 today, I am going to be talking about a certain bicycle topic that almost is similar to our parents telling us we can't go swimming after we eat, or maybe the light inside the car, the dome light. You can get pulled over for stuff like that. The myths, I'm going to debunk a few things when it comes to bicycle riding today, and one of them being whether or not you have to walk your bike over a crosswalk or not. And that's the question that we're going to be tackling. So 8:30 today, clickorlando.com. Join me. For now, I'll leave you back to your show.
Very good info to have. Looking forward to that. See you then.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, a quick check of a few stories that have everyone talking. Orlando International Airport had a big I don't want to say scare, but there was a big disturbance, and things are back to normal now. But apparently there was a suspicious bag over on the Terminal B side last night during the 5 o'clock hour, and lots of people ended up just leaving without their bags. They didn't want to hang around because they didn't know what was going on, and crews blocked off quite a bit of Terminal B because of all of this. And in the end, they didn't find anything, so that's good. But several flights were delayed due to this whole security nightmare. So not a smooth night out there at Orlando International last night, but things back to normal, and the good news, nothing dangerous found. Also in the news, the wastewater emergency in Seminole County. We reported a while back, you may remember, about millions of gallons of sewage spilling into Lake Monroe, and it happened and it created this bacteria risk, and we've been waiting to see what's going to happen. So the city of Sanford is declaring a public health emergency. They're trying to fix the issues associated with this at the city's wastewater treatment plant. But again, millions of gallons got into the lake. And so News 6's Ezzy Castro has more on the city's plans to use some emergency money for maintenance and inspection at 2 facilities.
Sanford City Commissioners approving an emergency health declaration for the maintenance of the city's 2 wastewater treatment plants. The city says millions of gallons of sewage has flowed out into Lake Monroe and other waterways. People who live near the lake told us the problem has been going on for over a month.
It smelled like fecal matter and mostly urine.
Signs have been placed around Sanford's Riverwalk, warning people not to swim or fish. Meantime, city leaders say the problem needs to be fixed and agreed to pay $120,000 from emergency funds to help with repairs of both facilities, adding that the city has long struggled with its wastewater system.
So we'll keep you posted on what's happening with that wastewater issue and, all of that got into the lake, because it will take some time to straighten all of that out and make sure things are safe and in order again. But Speaking of getting things in order, it is tax season. And so maybe you've already filed. Maybe you're waiting on that return right now. Maybe you still need to get all your documents together and get your tax return done. But, you have until April 15th. But we have an expert with us this morning to talk about all things taxes, tax returns. Chief Financial Strategist Chance Robinson from Strong Point Financial joining us. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, happy to be here always.
So, we talk about the tax season here in Florida, and one of the strong points is we don't have to do the state income tax return, but we still have to get that federal one done. And when it comes to the returns, people usually have plans in mind for how they want to spend that money before it comes in, Chance.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of taking this time to utilize and really strengthen your financial situation versus, the typical, I want to go out and buy a new car or, even putting it into some high interest debt and things like that could be a better alternative. But I'm a big proponent in strengthening that financial situation, taking this opportunity to earn some interest on some of that money that has been, essentially sitting somewhere without earning interest all year, which is what the tax return is. So looking for opportunities to really increase positive cash flow, looking for investment opportunities that are going to spin off additional income and things of that nature.
Can you break down maybe like a case example, like say you're set to get, I don't know, $10,000 back? How would you break that down for someone in terms of, spend a little, save a little? What would you tell them to do?
Yeah, for me, a good rule of thumb is to say, hey, take 30%, and this should be throughout the year realistically. 30% for me is really that bottom line to say, hey, this is what I need to put into always strengthening my financial situation.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was getting 10,000 back, 3,000 of that is definitely going into some type of investment for myself. That's going to be, strengthening that financial situation going forward into the future, whether it be in investing in specific assets like stocks or bonds or even dividend paying yielding accounts, something of that nature.
What's the
I
quickest,
am going
easiest
to
thing you could do? Because, when you say stocks and bonds and maybe someone is self-employed or they don't have, 401k or something like that, what would be the quickest, easiest thing you could do to say you're investing?
So the easiest thing, I mean, we all know there's tons of investing apps that are available to us now. You got like Robinhood and you've got E-Trade and you've got Schwab. A lot of these platforms now offer, either low to zero fees for utilizing them and getting accounts started. The treasury bonds right now, I'm a big fan of short-term treasury bonds right now. I think the 3-month treasury is still paying over 5%. So, some of these opportunities to earn some of that interest that's just there. I mean, a treasury bond is a loan to the government with a guaranteed return on the rate as long as you're holding it for the specific period that you elect. And, those opportunities are vast and in between. And then taking a look at some of the other opportunities like Apple and Tesla and Google, these staple companies that are safe, that are stable, that you can earn some pretty good returns on as well.
And then what should we do with the rest?
Now the rest, there's going to be somewhat of a urge, enjoy some of it, and
Of
and I, and
course.
I and I and I am a proponent of that. One of the things about living here in Florida is our quality of life and standard of living that we get to enjoy here. There
Yeah,
are
pick your adventure.
tons of activities to do. Right, exactly. So whether it's a dinner show or a night out or a small theme park or one of the larger theme parks, there's tons to get into.
And would you say, you said 30% invested, and then you're saying the rest we can just go enjoy
Not,
or
I
pay
am
off the
gonna
debt
say,
too?
yeah, I was gonna say definitely, so maybe break that up a little bit more and pay off some of that high interest debt. If I have accumulated some, credit card debt or other high interest debt, personal loans or things like that, I'm gonna knock some of that out so that I can take that off of my list and really start to focus on my future at the same time.
Should you throw, you know, in terms of priority. So like what's first, then second, then third or fourth? Is it the debt first, like throw as much as you can at the debt, or you're saying off the top, put the 30% into some sort of investment saving strategy, then go from there? Like,
Yeah,
what's the priority?
absolutely.
Because, it's hard for
Put
people to
it
prioritize.
Yeah, put it into the investing, because what we happen to do as a society is we kind of things. I mean, if we had debt last year, we still have debt this
Mm-hmm.
year, and we're gonna have debt next year, and that's gonna be ongoing as it is.
Mm-hmm.
But how I strengthen that financial situation when I'm looking for investing those assets right up front. The thing about debt is we always get into this opportunity where they say, okay, if I take care of all the debt and I pay all the creditors and I pay all the bills, 9 times out of 10, there's nothing left to invest.
Yeah.
But somehow or another, throughout the year, we always figure out a way to make it, right? That's why we're staying
Right.
here the next year and the next year and so on.
It's
So
not
if you
that debt
take
is
this opportunity,
bad. It's just that you have to have a healthy ratio, right?
absolutely, absolutely. And there's also the understanding of good debt and bad debt. Not all debt is bad. There is good debt that's out there as well. So understanding those opportunities is really key.
Now, you talk about building your emergency fund. What's the equation for that? How do you figure out like a best case scenario for emergency funds? Because, we've had a lot of, economic challenges for people, whether it be employment and, ownership of different, assets and properties and the cost of living. So what would be a good emergency fund equation for a person to calculate to save up?
So I'm going to look at my necessities, what things have to be paid to maintain my lifestyle, as far as my living expenses, and I want to have 3 months on hand at any given time. That is a good nest egg to be. Ideally, we'd like to see about 6 months, but I'm gonna have 3 months secured for sure, for certain, to know within that 90-day time frame that I'm gonna be okay if something like the shutdown or something like that happens again. I will have some viable solution within that first 90 days.
And we talked about free preparation options. There are lots of free options out there, whether you go through the IRS has some things, the military, AARP. There are lots of free softwares out there, but there's some stipulations around those, right? Because everyone can't necessarily file for free.
Correct. Like this year, the IRS partnered with eFile. So on their website, you can actually go on, and if you're earning a little under 79,000 as your adjusted gross income, they will let you file there. Now, this is federal. This is not state. However, state's not something that we have to worry about here in Florida. If you are over that threshold, though, they do still have options to be able to help you file without having to pay, but it's not guided as much as what the under 79,000 is. So there's still the forms, there's still calculators to help you address that and make the correct adjustments, but it's not the same guided one that operates similarly to TurboTax or something like that.
Now, I've heard, there have been people online saying, oh, I have to pay this year and I never usually have to pay, or some people are saying, oh, I'm getting something back and I normally don't get something back. And the IRS is, constantly adjusting different things and, how they calculate our income taxes.
Yeah, so that's just one of the nuances that happen every year. I mean, as you pay attention throughout the year, when these specific deals and budgets and things are passed, there are things in those budgets that are going to affect us throughout the year. So, I remember last year when they changed the child tax credit a little bit around, where instead of getting that lump sum that a lot of people were used to, they got monthly payments. So, they're constantly tinkering, trying to see what's best to help American families in general. And those things are going to adjust every year. The income brackets adjust. So all of these things make differences when you get ready to file your taxes for the following year.
And are you a proponent of telling people to adjust it so that they're not getting such a big refund? Like a big refund's not necessarily, when you're a financial strategist, I would imagine you're saying, you don't want a big refund.
Yeah, I mean, I ideally I'd like to be as close to a 0 refund and not owing anything as possible, because essentially what you're doing is the refund is just the fact that you've given the government a interest-free loan for the entire year, and they're giving you that money back. It's not money that came out of thin air, and it's not a gift. This was money that you paid in throughout the year, and now you're getting it back, but you're getting it back interest-free. So it makes a little more sense if I can adjust my withholdings throughout the year to be done correctly, then I'm not getting as much back, but I took that additional funds throughout the year and done the right things with it at that time.
So make those adjustments.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Chance Robinson from Strong Point Financial, thanks so much for this great information. A lot to think about as we get ready for the tax season if we haven't filed. Where can we get some more information from you and some tips and resources?
Yeah, so we've got several tools and calculators on the website. There you can visit spfadvisors.com, where there's several tools, there's several tips, there's several calculators that you can work on with budget sheets and even some investing opportunities.
All right, wonderful. Well, thanks. This was great information, and hopefully everyone can take away something from that. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, that will do it for us this morning on Breakfast with Bridgett. Hope you can get your taxes done. I know I still need to get a lot of things organized, but hopefully get it done before April 15th. And we'll be back tomorrow with more Breakfast with Bridgett at 7:30 right here on News 6 Plus. Stay tuned because Weather Wise with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas is up next. Have a great day.